My name is Harry. I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here. Because we're not dealing with honest, truthful people with integrity. They don't care about any of that. They're playing right in front of our eyes. They don't care. They just want the power. They want, to be in control of everything. They'll do anything. All right. So this is, yes, we do need to pray. All right. So this is People Magazine. Maybe I'll read part of it. Harry will not attend the first day of the NGN trial on Tuesday, January 21st, but is scheduled to testify in court in February. Harry is set to take the stand later in the proceeding. Okay, so that's People. We need to keep an eye on People Magazine. Okay, they are the same group, but keep an eye on them. Prince Harry to miss first day of UK trial, dismissing report he was set to receive police protection. I think I read something like that. And some of the things the squad were saying is that why now? Why this? Because it was a UK headline. The trial of the Duke of Sussex case against Rupert Murdoch on Tabloid, The Sun, is set to begin in front of a judge in London on January 21st. Okay, this was written yesterday. Prince Harry will not travel to London for the first day of his trial against Rupert Murdoch's tabloid The Sun, refuting claims that he was set to receive limited police protection during his stay. People understand that Harry will not attend the first day of the NGN trial on Tuesday, January 21st, which is today, but is scheduled to testify in court in February, debunking false report about supposed security offers. The Duke of Sussex trials against news group newspaper NGN, the publisher of The Sun, centers on allegations of unlawful information gathering by journalists and private investigators. Harry is set to testify later in the proceeding, which are taking place alongside former Labour MP Tom Watson. Harry has accused NGN of phone hacking and other privacy violations between 1996 and 2011. And this is one part that the paper is fighting against, but the judge ignored it anyway. That it's too long, it's been a long time ago, and the time have elapsed and all of this. And this was another thing. The father was preventing him from proceeding to kill times. I mean, Charles, my God, special kind of baggage for him. A period during which The Sun and now defunct News of the World allegedly targeted him. NGN has denied any wrongdoing. Okay, what do you expect them to say? All right? They're not going to say, oh, I did it and this and that. Okay? They're going to do everything they can. They're going to lie and lie and lie until they can lie no more. The news refute recent report that Harry was set to receive limited protection from the Metropolitan Police despite his legal defeat over his request for security. It was also reported that Harry declined an offer to stay at Buckingham Palace this week. A source reportedly told the Mirror that Harry was offered accommodation at the royal residence but chose to turn it down. They're mixing things. I don't know. They're mixing things. Because when Harry went, and I believe it was February of last year, when the father first come out, he had cancer or something like that. The first thing that they did is they offer him a place to stay at one of those palaces, and the place that they told him to stay was not secure. So Harry turned it down. So they're mixing all of this, okay, with current situation. Okay, Harry is currently locked in another legal battle over a ruling made last February to remove the automatic right to security for him and his family. The initial decision was made in February 2020 when he and his wife Meghan Markle stepped away from their roles as working royal. Harry has taken the issue, which has contributed to the ongoing tension between Harry and his father, King Charles, to the courts for more than 4 years. He lost an initial decision in April, but is appealing it, and the case is set to heard in the spring of 2025. There was a time I was really confused with all of this, because I thought that was done, but the the review, I think that was the review. Maybe that's what it is. He's appealing it and he's moving forward with it, but it's not a lawsuit. Okay, as his UK tabloid focus trial begins this week, Harry is set to take the stand later in the proceedings. Just last month, he vowed to continue with his lawsuit, driven in part by his belief that the action of a few journalists were undermining public trust in the media. During his appearance at the New York Times Deal Book Summit in December, the Duke of Sussex remarked, quote, "I am the last person that can actually achieve accountability. I will be damned if those journalists are going to ruin journalism for everyone because we depend on it," he added. As I'm reading this, I'm thinking of Israel killed a lot of journalists in the Middle East because they didn't want these things to be out. Okay, so let's continue. Once one of about 40 plaintiffs suing Murdoch's publication, Harry stands as one of only 2 still fighting, with dozens of others settling their claims. Prominent people and celebrities, including actor Hugh Grant and Sienna Miller, were involved in the suit, but they have largely settled their part of the case. Grant explained in April 2024 that he felt he had no choice as he might be hit with bills running into more than $10 million even if he was successful. In a lengthy thread on X, formerly known as Twitter, Grant wrote, "News groups are claiming they are entirely innocent of the thing I had accused the son of doing: phone hacking, unlawful information gathering, landline tapping, the burglary of my flat and office, and the bugging of my car, the illegal blagging of medical record, lies, perjury, and the destruction of evidence. As is common with entirely innocent people, they are offering me an enormous sum of money to keep this matter out of court," he continues on the social media platform. "I don't want to accept this money or settle. I would love to see all the allegations that they deny tested in court," he added, "but the rules around civil litigation mean that if I proceed to trial and the court award me damages that are even a penny less than the settlement offer, I will have to pay the legal costs of both sides." The spokesperson for NGN told People in a statement at that time it admitted no liability in the settlement and said that settling the case was, quote, "in both parties' financial interest not to progress to a costly trial." Okay, I was gonna stop but it's almost done. All right, in December, during a chat with the New York Times columnist and Deal Book founder Andrew Ross Sorkin, Prince Harry said Grant felt they had to settle. He added he had other motivation. "One of the main reasons for seeing this too is accountability, because I am the last person that can actually achieve that," the Observer newspaper reported on January 19. Okay, so there's people responding. Okay, Harry doesn't work, so now he's making a living of suing people. Oh, please, that's nonsense. All right, so there they are here. Okay, Harry knows what he's doing, and they've been at him since since his mother died. Okay, using him for nonsense. So these people are the bats they send, wherever there's anything that speaks positive about him or anything, they send their bats to counteract it. Next tweet. So there's no comment. The link of the People magazine article will be in the description. This is Kaiser, Prince Harry suing Murdoch's paper, so she changed the thing. The only logical conclusion is that money changed hands. The only thing that screamed commission hijab more was the version of These Lies, and before that, the Wall Street Journal of These Lies, and before that, the London Times version of These Lies, which started with the royal races, the aim and red. Okay, let's see here. That's a GIF money exchange hand. Let's see this one. Byline Time has uncovered new photographic evidence of Wooten, the aid, and the A. Okay, so pause and read all of that. Let me focus on the one she underlined. When I originally recorded this, I didn't read the first, I guess, 4 bullet points. So now that I'm editing, I thought I'll add it because I don't think it's fair, because the next page I read all the screenshots. Okay, so let's get started. Byline Time has uncovered new photographic evidence of Wooten, the aide, and the aide's partner at a lavish private birthday party Wooten threw for his close friends in a £1,675,000 a night hotel suite. I think I reported on that. It's somewhere in one of my videos, either PYTE or on this channel. Prince Harry sent formal letters before action detailing the claims about Wooten and the palace to News UK. Sir Clive Alderton, today King Charles and Queen Camilla's right-hand man, and the former Lord Chamberlain, Lord Peel, put pressure on Harry to alter the legal papers. When the aide's name was not removed from the legal letters, the Sussexes were caught adrift financially and left unable to protect themselves despite having a security threat level equal to the monarch. Okay, and then I believe I read the last bullet point on the original recording. So let's pick up from there. The royal household had thought the threat of exposure will force Harry and Meghan to return to the UK, where their profile could be controlled, preventing them from eclipsing the future king. I've heard someone said that on social media, but I have not come across the article, a Byline article about that. Okay, I'm removing my jacket. It's so hot in here. Okay, so let's see. What else does she have here? Prince Harry and Meghan were forced out of the Syndrome agreement to continue in public service from Canada when his father pulled the plug on funding. Yeah, so that I'm aware. It follows news that a partner of a key aide to Prince William received £4,000 from the Sun, allegedly for stories about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex when Wooten was executive editor. The payment came to light in anonymous whistleblower emails claiming The payment came to light in anonymous whistleblower emails claiming to be from admin worker within the Murdoch newspaper publishing empire. They told her the payment had provoked panic at the Sun and claimed senior executive quietly brushed the matter under the carpet. The payment allegedly related to stories about Archie nannying and godparents, arrangement, and Wooten's January 2020 breaking story about the so-called Megxit. The Metropolitan Police looked into the alleged leaking but could not go to a judge for a warrant to search royal staff property without knowing the identity of the whistleblower. I think I read something like that on one of those Byline articles. 2 internal royal investigations followed. One involved Simon Case, who is today the embattled head of civil service, facing question over the government's response to the pandemic. The palace investigation cleared the aide after he denied being the source of the Archie and Megxit information and told Case that neither he nor his partner were friends with Wooten, although he admitted to knowing the journalist. Yeah, there were pictures of them at parties together, something like that. Yeah, they just took their words and then they move on. They didn't further investigate. Okay, so she was responding to this, and this is someone that I blocked. Absolutely the worst article I have ever read in my 30 years as a subscriber, shame, was Vanity Fair purchased by the UK Daily Mail, and I didn't realize it. Nothing but conjecture, unsubstantiated quotes, poor grammar, and obscenity and dreadful hypothesis. Okay, so who she's responding to? Okay, she's responding to that. It's been 5 years since Harry and Meghan left the UK. For months, I talked to dozens of sources in their communities and circles to learn what they've carried with them from royal to common life and why people feel so passionately about them. Anyone who's close to Harry and Meghan will not talk, so I don't know. But so there's that. I think, yeah, I didn't read the article, the Vanity Fair article, but I came across some screenshots and I had shared. Next tweet. Okay, they're gonna ruin it. Okay, do hit pieces for them with big chunk of money, and then once they ruin the reputation of Vanity Fair, and then they're gonna try to sell it. Okay, if Harry's family did not try to destroy Harry by linking arms with Murdoch, they wouldn't be in this headline. Those relationships were done the minute they took their pants off and got in bed with the media. Harry has nothing on the line, but the royal family's already declining popularity does. If their hands were clean and all of this, they won't be so pressed about Harry trying to hold those responsible accountable. Go get him, our very own Ginger Avenger Dragon Slayer. Okay, so she retweeted that. Money, reputation, and family relationships are all on the line when Prince Harry brings his case against newsgroup newspapers to trial tomorrow. The thing with the royal family, okay, when you see what's happening in the US, you know, how quickly, out of nowhere, Trump, who was never a politician, how he got the top job. Okay, they took him out and then he got back again. The royal family never understood their position, it seems. Okay? They lived a privileged life. They catered to them. They give them whatever they want. Meanwhile, they were dumbing them down even worse. And then weakening their mentality, their understanding of their position. Meanwhile, Harry, on the other hand, okay, they're mistreating him, sell him to the wolves and things like that. Understand his position. And pretty much the reason I brought this up is because at the end of the day, the royal family, those people they consider friend, like Charles once said, I have friends, so many friends.
The most damaging charge that is made in relation to your marriage is that you were, because of your relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, from the beginning, persistently unfaithful to your wife and thus caused the breakdown. What is your response to that persistent criticism?
Oh, that's the persistent criticism, is it? Well, and the trouble is, you see, that these things, again, as I was saying earlier, are so personal. It's difficult to know quite how to, to talk about these things in front of everybody. And obviously, I don't think many people would want to. But I mean, all I can say is that there's been so much speculation, feeding on every other kind of speculation, that it all becomes bigger and bigger. I mean, all I can say is that I mean, there is no truth in so much of this speculation. And Mrs. Parker Bowles is a great friend of mine. I have a large number of friends. I'm terribly lucky to have so many friends who I think are wonderful and make the whole difference to my life, which would become intolerable otherwise.
Okay, they pretty much want to abolish them. They're doing it in a different way. At certain point, because this is what's in place, I don't know, how do they call it, pardon or make certain things go away. His buddies don't face any consequences or something like that.
A great friend of mine. I have a large number of friends. I'm terribly lucky to have so many friends who I think are wonderful.
His buddies. So when not only their popularity or when their power no longer have any value in the UK, they're going to get rid of them. And then guess who's going to be more than happy to take their place? The people that Charles consider his buddies, okay? Friends, so many friends, this, all of that. And the horse that he has next to him, I don't know, I feel like is another to keep him in check. All right, so there's no comment. Let's go to the next one. This one has to do with Byline. I don't know if it's an article. Okay. So proud of Prince Harry for standing up and fighting back. No matter all the attacks on him and his family, Prince Harry and stood his ground. He truly is good, King Harry. All right, so there's no comment. She retweet Byline thing here. Okay. The Sun on trial. Murdoch's courtroom reckoning finally arrives. Could this be the moment that Rupert Murdoch's media empire is finally held to account for its action? This looks like something I should come back to. Okay, we very much hope so. Let's hope so. Evil man, I do hope so. We can only hope. Okay, it certainly should be. Musk is the modern equivalent of Murdoch, and if he ultimately does as much damage to Western democracies as Murdoch, then hope they both get their just desserts, whether in this life or the next. Okay, what happened is that now they're catching up to Murdoch. Now they're transferring it. That's all. Murdoch have done enough damage, so now they're transferring it to the next one to continue the same damage but in a different form. Okay, it's almost like when I say, I know sometimes they sound so crazy, but visually that's what I see. It's almost like when the Nazis they finished did their damage in Germany. Now they transform themselves. They turn themselves as if they are the victim. They don't represent or look like the Nazis anymore. They become the victim of the people that they had put in concentrated camp and they mistreated, they kill and all of that. They become the Jews, the ones who are doing the damages in the Middle East right now. Okay, it's the same thing that's happening here. When one of them done their damage, they run its course to the max. Now they're transferring it to the next. And then it's going to carry out the same exact thing, but in an improved way. The things we need to be careful of is to watch out for. They will target our emotion. They know how the environment, the way people are feeling at the moment. Then they will become that kind of a way to make you feel certain way. When you look at Bojo, for instance, when he was running, he acting like a clown and all of this. People were laughing, thinking it's whatever. But he still got the job done. Okay? That was the environment, the way the system, the way people were feeling at that time. Not everybody got fall for it, but that's what it is. Trump, on the other hand, when he first came into the periphery of politics and all of that, what were the sentiment of people, even though he started it, okay, with the Obama, with the birther kind of thing, but the sentiment that he made people feel is that you want something different. You don't want the establishment, the type of people that usually in the government and all of that. You don't want that. You want something different that will drain the swamp. I'm laughing because he was the swamp. And people believe it. And the worst thing is, they got rid of him for the second term, but he transformed himself in a way, he's not lying anymore. He understands his base. And then he just go full blast and then give a shit anymore. And now he's in office, a lot of things are happening. People are crying for, even before he got in office, people started crying for. But hey, even though I think a good portion of Americans did vote the right way, but the people who actually went in the voting booth and literally vote for him, these are the most concerned ones. But a good portion of Americans got it. They got it. But now, what's happening now, every American, those who already who knew how the mistreatment felt, African American, black and brown people, already knew how this type of things felt. But the MAGAs who never, I don't know what they have gone before, now they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel what is happening. Now, are we gonna get out of it? We don't know, because Trump wanted just one more chance. Just one more chance, and then we don't have to worry about any of these anymore. We don't have to worry about voting anymore. So if this is fixed, I don't know. But they will be playing with our emotion, depend on how the environment at the time is. And some, will literally play it out and right in front of you, and there are others who will infiltrate themselves to make you feel certain way and to trust them again. And then you give them the power again. Guess what? They pick up right where they left off. It's the same cycle. I don't know why so many people don't get it. Haven't seen the cycle of these type of people. But anyway, Trump, but we know that's a different things here. This was systematic. They fixed the thing for him to get in. And the only thing that I'm crossing my finger is that there's adult somewhere that's paying attention. That's all. I put some stuff out for my members. Okay, I'm losing track right now. Pretty much, they're just transferring the same type of evil behavior to the next, but more in an improved way to our time. Okay? So that's all that's happening right now. So be careful, I was going to say something, but kids are innocent. Okay, filth with that sort of money are never held to accountable. Maybe, just maybe, he'll get a slap on the wrist fine, maybe a few million. Bear in mind, he's a multi-billionaire, so will be no effect on him. Plus, it will be the empire that will pay, not him. He's just laughing. Okay, people need to stop supporting all his businesses. People like him are rarely prosecuted, as he can buy his way out of absolutely anything. He's untouchable. Right? I'm thinking Luigi. I hope finally Rupert Murdoch, dirty secret, he paid millions to hide from the gullible right-wing press, and the public is laid out to bear for all of the establishment to hide their heads in shame for bending over for his extremists for decades. And I don't think the media will report fairly on this trial. Look what happened when Meghan won. Okay, remember, Meghan had asked, I think, for $1 for something out of principle or something. That's the only thing they ran with. And then they didn't even report it fairly. They're saying, oh, look, she only won $1, and they make noise with that. But anyway, they'll turn into a gossip circus about Harry or the witnesses. The stakes are very high for the 1,300 people involved, but also for the public and journalism. The stake is not that much higher for the 1,300 people that involved, especially those who have already settled. They got their money, they move on. I don't know if part of the settlement is that they cannot come and give witness statements or anything like that. But they done. They cash in. They don't have to worry about if they win or lose to pay lawyers or everything like that. So they done with. But the high stake is on Harry. Because if he wins, okay, at least there'll be some sort of a relief that he was right and things like that. Okay, forget about the money for now, even though it is very important. And the other thing is that if he loses, the tabloid will run non-stop with it. They have their bats to consistently going around talking BS. But the other people have already settled. Okay, they got their money. They're moving on with their lives. And the other thing as well is, I would say, journalism is at stake as well. Because these people have turned real journalism into some sort of an entertainment where you cannot even know what's true or not. Like, for instance, during the Russian war with Ukraine, with the propaganda that was going on. And the people then know, they told them some BS. But when Ukraine started to move in, many of those people in Russia didn't even know. And luckily, many of the Ukrainians are not as savage as the other ones, because many of them did not have food and things like that. It's the Ukrainian who gave them water and food and take them into safety. But the whole point is, for bringing that up, is that with the propaganda, the lies, the people did not know ahead of time to clear off, to move on to a safer place, this kind of thing. Okay? Propaganda is very dangerous. it doesn't tell you the truth for you to make educated choices to put yourself in a safe place. This kind of thing. But anyway, let's get back to the original recording. Thank you for the work you do. All right. From 40 down to 2. Yikes. Finger crossed. All right. So there's more. I don't think I want to read this right now because I'll leave the link in the description. If it was about the trial, maybe I'll be more interested. But I've already read a couple other things. But it's not that long though. If anything, I'll turn this video into 2 because I still have more to share with you. So let's see here. This week, news group newspapers NGN, Rupert Murdoch, publisher of the News of the World, The Sun, will finally face trial allegation of the stealing people's private information, including by hacking their phones and covering it up illegally. In fact, the trial has already begun with several days dedicated to the judge reading the vast amount of background papers to the case. But on Tuesday, the barrister acting for the claimant, David Sherborne, will begin to present the claimant's case to the court, and the public will learn the extent of criminal behavior alleged to have occurred at both the News of the World and The Sun. I'm glad that I read that because I don't think the NPR sort of explained that a little bit clearer. So today, when David Sherborne go to court, he's gonna lay out Harry's case pretty much. Okay, the claims. The claimant who have made this trial possible are the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, and Lord Tom Watson of Wire Forest, the former deputy leader of the Labour Party. I thought he was a former member of Parliament, but anyway. But before their own allegations are argued in detail, the generic element of the case are first considered. These are matters which are relevant, essential, even the claimant's cases, but which also go to broader question about the practices of these newsrooms and the alleged cover-up. And the thing is that, as these play out in the UK, the US need to pay attention to it. People of the US, okay? If you do not know, if you know anybody, make them read articles from Byline. Forget about the other ones. Maybe some will be reporting it correctly. I don't know. But Byline one is the one to go with for that. So that way, it's a heads up of what to come in the US. Okay? And if you are in France as well, but your sister warned the US and France. They're coming after you. You next, France.
We're going to see some sort of state regulation of the press. I genuinely hope not. I don't want the press to be in the last chance saloon at all. I want to see newspapers thrive. This is my industry, and I think it's in all our interests that we have a thrive. And we've got the most wonderful newspapers in the world in this country. You read the newspapers in the States or in France, they're very dull. They're not entertaining at all. I think that we can have both a serious and an entertaining press. And that's what I want to see survive. I don't want to see Prince Harry destroy the industry I love.
All right, these are matters which are relevant, essential even to the claimant's cases, but which also go to a broader question about the practices of these newsrooms and alleged cover-ups. Fundamentally, it will ask, did illegal behavior, including hacking, happen at The Sun? When did it happen? Who was responsible and who knew about it? This part of the case could also examine the way that huge amount of email evidence in relation to the hacking scandal was deleted by News International, now News UK, which owned NGN, and an exercise it described as an innocent process to migrate its email to another system. I think that's where Will Lewis came into play, where they claim some of them were deleted. It later blamed the former Prime Minister Gordon Brown and Lord Watson for the loss of emails, claiming that emails were lost when they were trying to protect them from being stolen and sold to Brown and Watson. The excuses. Okay, after the generic element have been argued, the case will move on to the detail of the individual claims of Lord Watson and then Prince Harry. In Prince Harry's case, he alleged that a host of unlawful information gathering, so-called UIG, was committed against him. This include blagging, which is when personal information is stolen by impersonation, landline phone tapping, and other type of theft of personal information. When they start going into the details, we'll see how much the palace is involved. Okay, he claimed that because there's been video recording of the journalists saying that they pay people who work at the palace to give them information.
Prince Charles also has a legendary temper, as his staff know to their cost. One of his later butlers was Ken Stronach, who sold stories to the press.
He claimed that this was committed by both journalists at both The Sun and the News of the World and by private investigators, PI, working on their behalf. Lord Watson claim also alleged these activities took place as well as phone hacking at both titles. Phone hacking is not included in Prince Harry's claim. Oh, very interesting. Because a judgment previously found that Prince Harry should have known he had been a victim of phone hacking over 6 years ago and ought to have brought any phone hacking claim by then. Okay, so that I think that's when the father was preventing from suing and killing time. I think that's why. The stakes for the son have never been higher. While NGN has previously admitted that hacking took place at News of the World between 2001 and 2006, they have refused to accept that either hacking or any unlawful activity happened at the Sun. Too, despite repeatedly agreeing large settlement with other claimants. Claimants who rejected a financial settlement offer must not only win their case but awarded greater compensation in court than they will have received in the settlement. Otherwise, they are liable for both sides' legal costs, an amount which can easily turn into the millions. For this reason, NGN's strategy of offering high settlement has been very successful in helping them to avoid facing a court case and any adverse finding by a judge. But unless there is a last-minute settlement in the next few days, all that will change next week. The extent of criminal behavior alleged to have happened at the Sun will be put before the court and the public, as well as who is alleged to have been responsible and who is alleged to have covered it up. Ultimately, the judge will make findings in all of these areas. It is also possible that current serving editors could face accountability for any role they may have had in any unlawful conduct or its cover-up. What was it? I was reading something on my last video, and there was something I read where a phone hacking happened and there was a settlement. And when I look at the date, it was in 2023. They were doing it. They continue doing it. I was surprised to see it was that close. If any of the findings contradict what they previously said at Part 1 of the Leveson inquiry, they may face the risk of criminal prosecution for perjury. Another thing that Harry did, Harry was able to get is access to the Leveson inquiry. Okay, the judge had said he could bring claims of the Leveson inquiry, but the government will have to give him access to the Leveson inquiry, which Sunak administration did. Okay, political consequences. In opposition, the Labour Party was strongly committed to seeing through the Leveson inquiry's Part 2, which will investigate allegation of illegality at The Sun and other newspapers. The press argued that the extent of press illegality is already known, so Part 2 is unnecessary. I remember during that Leveson inquiry, they were questioning one of those, it's a female. Was it Rebecca Brooks? Oh my God, I can't believe I remember. Rebecca Brooks. And somebody was really pressing to question her. And then it got to a very heated moment, and they paused the Leveson inquiry, and they were supposed to come back. This is where they stopped it. Yeah, this is where they stopped it. And then this is the excuse that they're giving. Okay, what was it? The Sun and other newspapers, the press argued that the extent of the press illegality is already known, so part 2 is unnecessary. Oh my God. The excuse these people are giving. Yet, since the election, the government has indicated it is not inclined to proceed with Leveson Part 2 after all. Perhaps to avoid hostile covering in his newspaper, Sir Keir appeared to have hitched his wagon to Murdoch, despite protestation from within his own party, which by and large remained committed to action on Leveson and press corruption. What was it before the election in the UK? What was it again? Keir Summer. I think he went to one of those parties that Murdoch usually create having, and some people were very upset about that. A ruling in this case, which confirmed illegality and cover up at the Sun, will call into question the Prime Minister's judgment on this. There is overwhelming public support for Leveson Part 2. The Prime Minister will have to explain why he had abandoned the party's long-standing position on an issue which was the subject of promises to victims to press corruption and abuse, and which is widely supported by the public to protect the interests of news publisher. Which I'm giggling underneath is that the paper in the UK, they saying BS, well, private, let's just say private information about private citizens, put it out there to the public, and they're claiming this is public interest when the public doesn't care. But now this part, this is the psychology they're playing with people. When the people want the Leveson Part 2 to continue, the excuse they're giving is not best for the public interest. All right, let's continue. And the outcome of this case be found to have broken the law and lied about it. Okay, and for what? Okay, favorable coverage in his newspapers. If that was his strategy, then it has proven itself deeply politically naive. Okay, I was gonna stop uncovering the truth. We already know what Murdoch and his media allies are going to do throughout this 9-week trial. They will ignore anything which damage their interests and take shots at the claimant and their witnesses. That's why Hacked Off and Byline Times are teaming up to provide clear-eye coverage of the biggest developments in this case and reporting on what this case is really about. Allegation of widespread illegal behavior, subsequently covered up at Newsgroup newspaper. All right, so the link of this article will be in the description. If you can support Byline, please do so. This is where you could go to go fund them. All right, these are real journalists. Okay, so I read some of the comments here. Stop buying this effing newspaper, you thick twat. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Anything that has his name on it, just stay away. Stay away. I have 2 more. This video might be into 2. Maybe the article will be by itself. Be sure to follow at Byline for only unbiased reporting you'll get from a UK paper on Prince Harry's case against Murdoch. Okay, so I think that's what I just read. Yeah, Byline time. Yep, that's the same thing. So let's go to my next one. Say no to racism. And I have 1 more. Okay, say no to racism. Why Meghan's happiness drive trolls mad. Okay, so this should be someplace else, but there's not that many comments anyway. Let's talk about the psychology behind hating someone you've never met, specifically someone like Meghan. You know, I'm gonna leave this for another video. Okay, I'm gonna remove that. So let me go to my last one. And this a little bit shade with politics in the US. All right, let me pause. Okay, officially clacked out. There's no comment. Let's go to the retweet. Pause again. Black women who are part of the 92% club, we are officially off the clock. All right, 18 seconds.
From this day forward, don't ask black women for shit. Don't ask us to come and save you or to rally behind you or to help you. Do not ask black women for a fucking thing.
What was it? I think there was a woman march in Washington I don't know how it went. I didn't even bother watching. That 92% doesn't mean what most think it means. Neither does the 82% for black men. We need to understand what it really means and build from there. Okay, y'all got it. Okay, amen. The 82% black men are in unison on this as we join the 92. Okay, yes, ma'am. And don't come looking for us. Don't come looking for us either. Yes, we are. It's not as if they listen to us anyway. The whole vote like black women was BS. Okay, now I'm gonna mind my own black business. Okay, so that is it. Let's do let's do prayer for victory and protection. Okay, there's this here. Thank you, Lord, for the victory that is mine through Jesus Christ. I trust in your continued protection and provision, and I know that you are always with me. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, so that is it. I'm gonna do another video on PYTE, and I'm gonna move one of the tweets that I started sharing with you. It will be on PYTE. Okay, this I'm gonna start with that because I remove it from this video, so I'm gonna start it in the PYTE video first. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.